absolutely hate book promotion. I mean, marketing, book promotion, like the worst. Am I right? Well, today I'm going to cover some book promotion tips, so stick around. Hey, Bright Riders, Keith Wheeler here, and if you want to continue to get all the hints, tips, and tricks on how to make self-publishing easier, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, smash your little bell icon so you get alerted each and every time I put out a new video. Okay, so you've got the book written. That's the easy part. Even if you get it edited, all ready, published, great. But that's not it. If you literally just wait around for organic sales, then you're probably most likely going to be very disappointed in the sales that you get. Unfortunately, you're going to have to do some book promotions. And if you're thinking, I'll just go traditional route, that way I don't have to worry about that. I can tell you, as someone who's both self-published books as well as has a traditional book publishing deal, that even with traditional publishing, you still have to do book promotion. So either way, you make it, shake it, or bake it, book promotion, it's going to be on you. So here are some ideas I have on some book promotion tips and ways that you can market your book. And these are in no particular order. So first and foremost, you want to get yourself a launch team. A launch team, sometimes called a street team, is basically a group of people who are in it to win it. They're in it to help you sell books. Now, some people use their friends and family, and that's great. But the truth is that a really good street team, a really good launch team, is going to be people who love your genre. And they actually love your book because they're going to know people that also like that type of book and that type of genre. Your friends and family, they love you, but if they're not into that particular genre of books, they really can't point out the great aspects of it to other potential readers. So I'm sure there's other things on your list that you can use your friends and family for. But again, getting a good street team, and it doesn't have to be huge. It can be, just a handful of people. They're a launch team. They help you when you're actually doing your book launch, spreading the word. But I like to call them a street team because their work, if they really want to help you, goes far beyond that first initial book launch. And number two, and I cannot stress this enough, is your email list. And I know you've heard about getting an email list probably way more times than you care to count. And I was the exact same way. I was like, I don't want an email list. I don't know what, I send out newsletters. I don't want to aggravate. I don't know what to say. Forget all that. Okay? It's not about you. It's about them. And if someone is willing to give their email address to you, then that means they believe in you. So don't look at it as you're aggravating them by sending them a newsletter. You're helping them. You're giving them information. They wouldn't be on your newsletter list if they didn't want it. So that email list is going to be crucial, not only just to let them know that, hey, a new book is coming out, but I use my email list to get ideas for future books. Find out from them what they like, what they don't like. I've gone as far as to, do brief, 5 or 10 question surveys so I learn more about my particular audience. So I can tell you the income range that my email list subscribers fall into, the age range, the gender. There's so many different little nuances, and that helps me both with my future books, but it also helps me in targeting when I do AMS ads or when I do Facebook ads. Using that email list is just immeasurable. And also keep in mind that when they purchase a book on Amazon, they're not your customer. They're Amazon's customer. You can't retarget them. You can't reach out to them and see what they liked about your book. If they'd be interested in you doing spin-offs, they can't give you any of that information. Now, if you're thinking, hey, I don't write books, I do no content, low content books, you still want that information. You want to know what other topics and hobbies these people have so you have ideas for future books. Or if you just want to expand on the low content, no content book niche that you're in, the more communication you can have with your audience, the better. Also, keep in mind, like I said, right now they're Amazon's customers or Kobo's customers or wherever they're getting your book from. And so if they're not your customers, Amazon can change the rules, and they do quite frequently, and you could lose everything. You've got nothing to fall back on. If you have that email list, regardless of what platform you put your books on, they're your customers. And you can tell them, go here, go here. And ideally, if you can get them to start buying off your website, then you really maximize your profits. Another book promotion idea is using giveaways. Everybody loves giveaways. Everybody loves something for free, right? And so you can use signing up for giveaways as ways to build hype about your book, even if your book has already been published. You know, these aren't things that are just for your initial launch. You know, it's great to get those initial sales, but in order to pay your bills month after month after month, you need continuous sales. And the way to do that is to not give up. Keep using each of these elements. You know, use some months, some other months. You know, and some of these may not work for your particular niche or may not work for your particular book, but keep these in mind so you can use them on future books. So again, giveaways. People love things for free. The next book promotion idea on the list is sign up to be a Goodreads author. Now, you may or may not have heard of Goodreads, but basically, Goodreads, if you're not familiar, is a social media platform for bookworms, for people who love books. You know, it could be librarians, teachers, writers, whatever, anybody who loves books. It is a social media platform just for them, and that's all they talk about. So by you signing up to be a Goodreads author, you get your name up there where people can be talking about you. And there's these awesome features where people can ask questions to the Goodreads authors. And by people asking questions, then you get that communication, that camaraderie between you and your audience. And maybe at first you may not get anybody submitting questions. You can submit your own question and answer it yourself. So they get to learn a little bit more about you, and the more they know about you, the more invested they feel, the better the chances of they're going to buy something from you. Next, you can do author visits. And, you know, I know a lot of people, especially authors, you know, a lot of us are introverts or may not like the social interaction that comes with doing author visits. So author visits may not be for you, but I really do implore you to give it a shot. And you may think that, you know, I just do my local area. With the internet and with things like Skype and Zoom, you can not only do an author visit at your local school or your local library, but you can do virtual author visits. You know, you can do author visits around the world. So again, don't underestimate the power of doing an author visit. Again, it allows people to communicate with you, ask questions, learn things about you, feel more invested. And as I've said before, if people are feeling invested in you emotionally, there's a much better chance that they're going to invest in you financially. Next, obviously, is going to be creating promotions. You can use places like Canva to create your files, or you can use places like BookBrush. BookBrush is similar to Canva, except for it's specifically tailor-made for authors. You're able to do ads for Facebook, promotions for Pinterest. Like, they're all different templates that they have up there. You can even put a video behind it to make it moving. And I've actually recently done a video where Kathleen from BookBrush walks us through step by step the BookBrush platform and all the different promotional ideas that you can do using that platform. Now, of course, book promotion tips wouldn't be complete if I didn't talk about running ads. Now, most people will immediately think of either Facebook ads or they'll think of Amazon ads. And Amazon ads are by far the easiest ones to create. I've got a couple of videos in here, including an entire playlist where I show you how to run Amazon ads. And then, of course, you have Facebook ads, which can be a little bit more complex, but can really help you drill down the audience that you're going to be advertising to. But I recently took a course by Chris Fox where he shows you how to run ads on more than just Facebook and Amazon. He even shows you places like Reddit, which I didn't even know they had an ads platform, but they do. Now, obviously, Reddit is probably going to be a little bit more complex than Amazon ads, but again, might be something worth looking into. Social media. Advertising on your social media is something that most authors just do automatically. They don't even think twice about it. And they'll post it once or maybe post it twice, and that's about it. They don't want to keep posting about it because they don't want people to unfriend them or stop following them. And one of the things that you can do is you can create a specific social media page for your author name. So having your personal Facebook page different than your author page is something that will kind of help minimize the amount of blasting that you're doing to your friends and family, and really, again, focusing on your actual audience. And you can do that on Facebook, Twitter, but don't forget that YouTube right here is a social media platform. And so whether you're doing fiction or nonfiction, you might want to start a YouTube channel, even if it's just temporary, just doing bits and pieces, maybe reading from your book, just something that, again, it's a social media platform that can get people more familiar with you as an author as well as your particular book. And if you're doing no content or low content books, YouTube is still a great place where you can show people how to use it in actual practical ways. On a similar note, you can create a podcast. And I know people may be very timid when it comes to the idea of doing a podcast, but especially if you don't like having your face on screen. So, with a YouTube channel, technically you don't have to have your face on screen. You can do audio like I do with my tutorials, but a podcast may be exactly what you want. And again, it doesn't have to be something that goes on for years and years. You can do a short-lived, limited podcast where maybe every episode is going to be an excerpt from a chapter of your book, or maybe the entire chapter of your book. So obviously you don't want to do all of it, but you can give them little snippets, things that people will hear and want to learn more about you and your book. Now, if you're in fiction, you might want to consider creating a book club. Not necessarily a book club around your book, but just a book club in general, and then integrate parts of your book into your book club itself. And so not just your book club locally. Again, this is the digital age. You're printing digitally, so obviously you can be anywhere thanks to this thing called the internet. And so you can do virtual book clubs, get together with other authors and do a children's book club, or do a horror book club, or whatever particular genre you may be in. And again, by sharing each other's platforms, you're helping each other out. That leads me right into my next promotional tip, which is endorsements. Getting endorsements or testimonials, editorial reviews, whatever you want to call them, getting feedback from people that are credible in the industry of your book. So if you're doing, educational books, maybe a principal or a teacher or a pediatrician, if you're writing fiction or even nonfiction, getting some feedback from librarians can be extremely helpful in getting the word of mouth, as well as adding credibility to your book. And again, you can put that in as editorial reviews on your Amazon Author Central page. Next up on the list is do blog posts. Not just blog posts on your own website, but offer to do guest blogging on other people's sites. One of the biggest things when it comes to collaborating with one another is you want to make sure that you always give more than you get. And so if you show them how it helps them, what you can offer their audience, and always giving more again than you're getting, then you'll really not only have a lot more people willing to work with you, but the more people that work with you, the broader your audience is getting. Now, I do have one more book promotion idea, and this one actually came from Pat Flynn. I have to do a little shout out. But before I give this one away, I wanted to ask you, have you liked this video? If you have, give it a thumbs up. Make sure that you share it with somebody else in this industry that you think can really benefit from it. There's a lot of different book promotional ideas that I've given in here. Again, maybe not all will work for you or for your particular book, but I'm sure you know at least one other author out there that might benefit from this. So again, if you could share that, not only does that help them out, but that'll help out me and the channel as well. So I greatly appreciate it. Now let's get to the very last one, and that is raising the price of your book. Now, this book promotional idea is just something that is going to help initially. It's not something that you can do ongoing, but if you're looking for any particular reason that you want to just get a boost in sales, then one thing that you may want to do is advertise that you're going to up the price. And what that does is that gives people this sense of urgency. Everybody likes a deal. So they want to make sure if they're going to get your book, they want to get it before that price goes up. So again, you obviously, based on Amazon's terms of service, you can't include that in your book description page. But you can go over to BookBrush and you can do a little promotional advertisement and show that price is going to go up to $4.99 starting whatever date. And again, it gives people that sense of urgency. And then you want to make sure that you take that ad and you share it. You share it on your social media. You share it with your email list. You share it if you're helping out with blog posts and it's okay with the person that's running the blog. Again, by doing that, it gives that sense of urgency that people will have a better chance of buying it while it's still at a lower price. Again, this isn't going to help you long term, but it will help you if you're looking for some really short term sales. Let me know in the comments which one of these book promotional ideas you think you're going to use. If there's any you've never heard of or never thought of, throw down a hashtag new to me. I'd love to know which ones you've never heard of and which ones you plan on using. Now, I've got 2 videos lined up right here, and I can't decide which one you should watch more, so pick one, and I'll see you in the next video. And remember to write right.